Hello, I'm here today with the Lab 5. We want to build our database server and interact with our database using some app. First of all, we are talking about the relational database. An Amazon relational database make it easy for us to set up, operate, and scale a relational database in the cloud, and it provides cost-effective and resizable capacity while managing time-consuming database administration tasks, which always we focus on our application and business. An Amazon relational database provides us six familiar database engine to choose from: Amazon Aurora, Oracle, a Microsoft SQL Server, PostgreSQL, MySQL, and MariaDB. So by the end of this lab, we will be able to launch an Amazon relational database instance with high availability, configure the database instance to permit connection from our web server, and open a web application and interact with our database. And so in this scenario, in this lab, we following some infrastructure that is created already. This is the map that we have in our lab, and we have a availability zone A, availability zone B. We have VPC that already created. We have a public subnet 1, public subnet 2, private subnet 1, and private subnet 2, and security group and in an internet gateway. And after that, we finish our lab, and by the end of the lab, we should have this map. So we create a security group in AZ1A, in availability zone A, and security group in availability zone B, and we should connect security group RDS master with secondary, and then connect it to the security group web server. So first of all, I should open my AWS. I'm gonna create a security group for the RDS instance. So in the services, I go to the VPC and then choose the security group that is here, security group. I go to the VPC and security group and choose create a security group. I put the name, security group name. It should be, I want to put the DB security group. And for description, I want to put permit access from web security group. I'm gonna just copy and paste from the lab. You don't have to type. It's faster, I think. We are in task 1. Just copy and paste. And then for VPC info, I choose the lab VPC. And then in the inbound role, I'm gonna add role and type MySQL Aurora, and I want to put the type as a Aurora MySQL Aurora, and for the custom I want to put the custom, and for the stores I want to put the SG, and then create security group. Okay, I finished the first task, that was I create the security group. In the second task, I want to create a database subnet group. So for that one, I want to go to the RDS. I can type here RDS and find it RDS. Click on the RDS, and in the navigation pane, choose subnet group. In the relational database system, I want to choose the subnet group that is in my RDS. I go to the subnet group and then create a database subnet group. And for the name, I want to put DB subnet group. I want to copy and paste from the lab. Name, description, and then lab VPC. And then lab VPC. And then scroll down to the add subnet section that is here. And then we want to select the first two zones, US East 1A and US East 1B. And US East 1B. And this subnet should now be shown in the subnet selected table. And then I choose this create. Oh, sorry. And after that, I choose the AZ. I should, choose my subnet. Because regarding to the map that we have, I want to choose the subnet 10.0.01 and then subnet 10.0.3.0 10.0.3 and 0, that is that one. So I should add both of them. So I back and choose this subnet that we have. We want to assign it to our security group. This one and this one. And then create. So the task 3 is create an Amazon relational database instance. We want to configure and launch a multi-AZ Amazon relational deployment of our MySQL database. So we want to go to the database. In the left navigation, we choose database and create a database. And then I'm gonna choose the MySQL. I want to choose a MySQL and then as an engine option, and then under the template, choose dev test. If I goes down as a template, dev test, because this is for the test, I don't want to spend my resource. So I choose a dev test, and under the availability and durability, choose multi AZDB. Multi AZDB instance. Choose the second one. And under the setting, configure database identification setting. Okay. For the database instance identifier, I want to copy and paste everything I have here. DB instance identifier, lab, and for the master username main, and then because I wanna put my password, I put the self manage, and for the username, I put the main. If I wanna connect to this uh, database, I have to know the username and password, so I should remember what I put as a username and password because I will use it in next task. This is the username and the password is lab password. I just copy and paste. And they're under database instance class configure. We select the bracelet class. That's one. Burstable classes. I choose a burstable classes and under the storage configure, I choose a storage type as a general purpose SSD. That is here already. And for the allocated storage, I want to put just 20 gigabyte. And under the connectivity, if I go down, under connectivity, I want to use a virtual private cloud or VPC. Lab VPC. I'm gonna choose the lab VPC here. And under existing VPC security group, and under existing VPC security group from the drop-down list, choose database security group. So under existing VPC security group from the drop-down list, choose database security group. I should scroll down, existing VPC security group. I'm gonna choose um, database security group. And deselect the default. And under monitoring, under the monitoring, an additional configure, uncheck the enable enhance. I should uncheck this one. And then for under the monitoring expand additional configuration, uncheck the enable. Enable monitoring, enable automatic backup because we don't want to write down um, monitor or do the backup. We don't need it right now because it's a lab, it's just for the test. So I just unselect the enable. So I unselect the monitoring, enable enhanced monitoring, and then I under the additional configuration, under the additional configuration, our initial database name, I put the lab, And then for the, I should uncheck uh, enable automatic database that I did, and uncheck enable encryption. So under the monitoring expand additional configuration we did, we uncheck the enable enhanced monitoring, and then uncheck the enable and uncheck the enable enhanced monitoring. It's done. And then under the additional configuration, configure initialize the lab, and then uncheck the enable automatic backup. It's done. And then right now I just should create the database. So we should wait until the info change to the, is creating. I should wait until it changed to the modifying or available. I wanna stop the video, and after that is change. Sorry, I started again. It takes about 4 minutes to change to the modify or available. Right now, that this is right now our database is modify. And then scroll down to the connectivity and security and copy endpoint field. So I wanna choose the lab, or lab DB is our database lab. And under the connectivity and security, I want to copy the endpoint field. There is an address here that I copied. I want to save it in the text, and I will use it in the later in this lab. And then in the task 4, in the last task, we want to interact with our database, and we will open a web application running on a web server that has been created for us, and then we will configure it and to use the database that we just created. To discover web server IP address, we choose the IAWS detail. So our web server IP is here. We have it here. I have to go to the AWS detail, and this is the address. I should copy it and open the new tab, and then open a new web browser tab and paste it and enter. Mm. So let's see. It should be here. Web server, that one is for IP address for our web server. Mm. Just refresh the page and it shows and it appear. I copy it again, and then this time I want to use the secure line that is new incognito, and Control V, enter, and we see we have access to our web server, and we choose the relational database, that is RDS here, and then we will now configure the application connect to our database. We have to know the endpoint. The endpoint is the endpoint that we copy from the text editor. And for the database, it's the name of that is lab, and username is the username that we set it in the previous step. That is the main, and the password was lab dash password, and then submit. And a message will appear and explain that the application running command to copy information to the database. And after that, we will display the address book, and then we can add add a record to our table, or we can remove it. I want to add content, last name, for example, a test or something like that. And the first name, the phone, email, just as a test. And then submit, we see we have access to our database. We can add table or we can remove the table. If I put the remove, I can remove it. So I think we are done with this task. I should just put the submit and see how many points I get today. I wanna stop the video, and because it takes time to submit and record my job. I got all of the point for task 1, 2, 3, and 4. So today we are done with this task. So I wanna end the lab, and yeah, we are done. Okay, see you in the next lab. I just want to let you know as a comment that I put the document of this lab in the comment or in the description. If you couldn't find it in the description, you can find it in the first comment that I put bottom of the video. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your subscription, and see you in the next video.